Yeah, I just have a basic program set up, and I have my main statement, my main function defined. And the only statement in my main function is this input statement where happy equals input. Are you happy? Yes or no. When you run it, it'll pop up this window and you type yes or you type no or whatever. And it doesn't do anything because I haven't told it to do anything, but that's the only thing I have in there. So I want to check and I want to print a statement based on what they enter. And that's where an if statement comes into play. So we can use an if and you use a parentheses and let's check what they entered for happy. So if happy equals yes. So this is how, oh, I'm sorry, colon. This is how an if statement works. You have your if, and then in parentheses, you put what you're checking. We need to check, is this true? If this is true, and a colon has to follow it at the end. But we're saying if happy equals yes. Now with an if statement, you have to use two equal signs. If you use one equal sign, that's where you're assigning a value. Like I'm assigning whatever they type to the variable happy. But if I want to check it, I have to use two. Or you can use less than or greater than or not equal is an asterisk equal. If it's not equal to yes, okay. But greater than or equal to doesn't make sense in when you're checking for words. But if I had numbers, that would make sense. But I'm going to check to see, does it equal yes? And so anything I want to happen has to be indented, right? So if I don't indent it, it's not going to be part of the if statement. Everything that you want to happen, if this condition is true, has to be indented underneath. And here's what I want to happen. I want to print, since you know it, clap your hands. Okay, so now let's run this. Run program. Are you happy? And I'm going to say yes. Well, since you know it, clap your hands. And what if I don't say yes? No. Nothing happens because I didn't tell it to do anything. Notice this is indented. If I didn't indent this, it has an error because it says, I don't know what to do if that's true. You didn't give me any commands. So this has to be indented so the if statement knows, all right, if this is true, what do you want me to do? And I can list multiple things here. I can have several lines. Set check equal to true, whatever I want to do. Loop or value equal value plus one. I'm keeping track of how many people are happy and I'm adding one because this person said they're, I can do everything I want to do, but everything that's indented will happen if this is true. If it's not true, nothing happens because I haven't done anything else. So if I want something else to happen, then I can put an else. All right. So if it's true, do this. If it's not true, do this. Print. And let's see. I will say something like, here, I got this little statement. I'll put quote. And, all right, let's run this. I'll show you what I put in there. Run program. No, I'm not happy. A smile can lift your spirits because the act of smiling, even if forced, triggers the release of mood-boosting chemicals like dopamine and endorphins in your brain. So I just put something there. Smiling. Yeah, I just changed it to smiling. Smiling can lift your spirits. So yeah, so it'll only do that if I don't say yes. If I say yes, since you know it, clap your hands. Oh, and then it has an error. Local variable value reference for assignment on line 11. Oh, because I've got this value equals 1. And value did not exist. It's like you haven't defined this variable. So I'll delete that. So that's why it created a problem. If I say yes. So, but yeah, everything I want to happen should be indented under the if. If it's true, everything I have indented underneath there happens. If it's not true, it'll go here. Now, I got an extra I in it. Not true also includes, what if I type, yes, I am. Are you happy? Yes, I am. it's going to assume that this is not true because it's looking exactly for YES. Anything else I type is considered not true. It does not equal yes. Yes, I am is not the same as yes. So it'll default. So that is one of the pitfalls of programming, that you have to tell it exactly, that person has to type exactly what you type, right? They can't say absolutely or I am or anything besides YES will default it to the else. So that's one caution in there. And that's nothing you can really correct other than make sure you tell what choices are. I put YES so they don't just hit, if they just hit Y, it's going to default to a no because that's not YES, right? See, it's going to print this again. So that's the important thing about the input statement. Tell them exactly what to type. Show them exactly what you need. So when they do type that, your if statement works properly. But you can use if statements to check all kinds of things. And you can add the else if needed. If you don't need it to do anything when it's not true, you don't need the else. That's an optional part of it. If I don't want it to print anything, I can just leave the if statement. And then when I type something, it just doesn't do anything. But that is the basics of how if statements work.